Good. Wait. Oh, now you can hear me. I was like, hold on. Couldn't hear me before. I was like, why is my mic not working? Anyway, hello and welcome. All right. So, as you can see, a slightly different project for today. Working on making some props for a Jinx cosplay. That's what I forgot. Forgot my examples of what I'm making. Oh well. uh I got one in raw foam, so this is pretty much what I am working on. I know it doesn't look like much. Where are the teeth? It'll make more sense with the teeth. See? And then it'll go like this. Yeah. Yeah. Look at that smile. A beautiful smile. And then it'll go like that. Now it looks more familiar. Of course, there's no shaping done to it. Nothing pinned down. I still have a lot to do. But, got the idea. Doing some foam smithing today. So, yeah. So, I got all my pieces here. And I got good old contact cement. Since we're working inside, I'm getting a good airflow. So what we're gonna start with today is I'm going to start with the bottom. I find the bottoms is a good start. And then I kind of work and build my way up. And where's my mask? Whoop. Right. Yeah. I like to wear a mask when working with contact cement because it kind of stinks. It's kind of smell baddie. So, makes it better. Alright. And, so right here, I actually have the instructions to my own pattern. Kind of helping me with the guideline. So I'm gonna first start with this bottom piece. And this bottom piece here is the inside of the cup right here. So that's what we're building first. My first step. These little things are pretty complicated. I don't even know how many hours went into making the patterns for these guys. But a lot. But I'm grateful that I already have the pattern now, so I can just remake them. And you might ask, why am I making a bunch? What's going on? Why am I remaking them? One, because I got a commission to make 2 of them. And also, for another reason, forever and ever, since I've been bringing Jinx to conventions, people have been asking if I sell her props. And the 3 that I have, those are mine. So I'm always like, no. But I'm like, damn, people seem like really interested. So you know what? Why don't I make an inventory? So yeah. So these ones, so 2 will go to the commission, and I think I have 3 that will go to shows. Not to be just shown off, but they'll be up for sale. Hey, it's Win! Hi, Win! How you doing? I know you can't see me smiling, but I'm smiling underneath the mask. Hello, hello. We're working on cosplay stuff today. How you doing, Win? How's this fine Wednesday morning treating ya? good. I'm glad you're doing good, Win. Glad you're doing good. Yeah. Especially with this contact cement, it's a little stinky. All right. One more side. Okay, so now that I have all these edges glued, I'm gonna kind of let it sit here for a moment. Let the glue get tacky. So actually I'm gonna set these aside and put this right here. And now this is the outer bottom part. So basically it's this outer piece here that we're gonna be making. Sometimes these little like glue wands like to come undone, and I'm like, I have to push them back in. Don't know why. Whoop, 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 whoop. I just refilled these bottles, so the glue is very fresh and liquidy. So it can get messy pretty quickly if you're not careful. Yeah, so when I'm making more Arcane Jinx spoons, it's 2 are for commission, and then 3 are gonna be for my inventory for shows. They'll be for sale. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. Yeah. So I'm it'll be I think it'll be good. Yeah, people have been asking for like cosplay props and that kind of stuff. I was debating too, probably not anytime soon. I'm probably gonna see how these props do at shows. But I'm thinking about making the nano swarms that are back there. Yeah, you can kind of see right there. Thinking about making an inventory sometime in the future of those as well for fellow Killjoy cosplayers. Alrighty, so now that I have this outer flower basically glued, I'm gonna put that aside to kind of get tacky, and now this one here is good enough. And I just bring the edges carefully together, just like that. Yep. And see, it easily stays. When the glue is like tacky, it likes to stick together a lot easier, and it's easier to pinch together. Whoop. And it just goes like that. There we go. And now we got a little bowl. Yeah. And this little bowl I can put aside. I'll put it right over here. Yeah, over here. And then this one, let's see if this one's tacky enough. I don't know if it will be. Might still be too wet. Yeah, it's quite not there yet. Still has to wait. Just a tad. What else can I work on? I could do the... You know what? How about I work, I could pull in the jaw here while that's waiting. So this is the bottom jaw part. 2mm foam. And everything here is either 2mm foam or 5mm. And what I like about these Jinx booms too is if they're not completely perfect, that's okay, or clean, because I mean Jinx herself even made these booms out of trash, right? So if they have a little nicks in them, or it's not like completely perfect looking, that's okay. I think they even look better and more in character if they're not completely perfect. A ramen bowl? Oh, you're talking about this little guy here? Yeah, put a little cup of ramen in there. Not real ramen though, that would taste gross. Make your ramen taste like foam and glue. That does not sound good at all. Not tasty. Alright. So, I'm gonna let these jaw pieces again get tacky. Or actually, since they're kind of flat, you know what? I'm sure it'll go like this. And then I'll squish them together later. This way, I can kind of get them to move around and line up perfectly. Yeah, and they're gonna lift. So I'll just put that aside and I'll squish them back together later. But this should be good now. Now, when the glue gets tacky, it's also drying. So I kind of have to work quickly. Like, not too, like... I want to wait for it to get tacky, but not wait so long that it gets dry. Because if it gets dry, then you're going to have to re-glue it. And it's not going to be good. And honestly, the wait time, I'm not really sure what that magic number wait time is. I kind of just know it because I've worked with foam so much that it's almost like just an instinct at this point. So there's some trial and error with foam. I would say you get better, the more you work with foam, the better you'll get. But there we go. We got another cup. Or as you say, Win, we got another ramen bowl. 2 cups of ramen, please. So I'm going to put one in the other here, but I'm going to wait for this one to dry a little bit because I don't want any of these flower petals to come undone. So we're just going to set them aside for a minute. And then I'm going to lay this jaw piece back down. Uh-oh, and it came undone. Sorry, I started forgetting that I had a camera right there. Like, the camera doesn't track your hands. Even though that would be kind of cool. I thought about that once. Like, one of those trackable gimbals that, like, tracks your hands. I'm like, that'd be a cool upgrade in the far future. Alright, so now we got a bottom jaw. And yes, it looks flat. So in order to make it curved, yes, you can use a heat gun, but that's going to give it that round shape. And these jaws are very like triangle, very harsh cut. So instead, I'm going to cut my crease lines. Not disappearing. So I have my trusty X-Acto blade here. Be careful. You do want the blade fairly sharp, but you want it to be, you want to be careful. They always say, cut the blade away from you like this. This is not comfortable. You have no control. So what I do is I tilt it and I go like this motion. So you're technically not cutting your way, but it feels more natural and better. What we're gonna do is draw a straight line. So I'm gonna draw a guideline where I want to cut. So we're gonna cut here. I think that's what I got, right? I think I'm doing it right. Ah, haha, ha 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 ha. I'm doing it wrong. I reversed it in my head. So, actually, you can see on my little directions. So it's from this point to that point. So we're going to do from here to here. There's going to be one cut. There's going to be a cut here. And then there's going to be a cut here to here. There you go. And then with the X-Acto knife, very lightly score it. It's kind of like, very lightly. So I kind of almost get this like bend shape. It's not all the way through the foam, not cutting it all the way through. And it's super, super light pressure, like you're lightly going through it. And there we are. And then you can see it kind of creates this harsh bent line. And it's more like metal, more jagged shaped. And there we are. And then that's how you create the bottom jaw. All right. Now going back to the bottom cuts here. This one's going to go inside this one. Thank you, Win. Yeah, the blueprint design that I have here is a pattern I actually have available on my Etsy. Anyone can purchase it, and it has all the pieces on paper that you just cut out and then you trace over on EVA foam. And I have labels of exactly how many pieces you need. And then I have written instructions of how to put everything together. And I also have YouTube tutorials on how to do this. And how to assemble them. So yeah, anyone at home, as long as you have EVA foam and simple, very simple tools, you can do this. You can make your own Jinx spoons. Oh yeah, the mask does kind of look like that of a grunt. The other day, Nacho was poking fun at me, and he was saying that I kind of look like a Borderlands character. I'm like, yeah, you could say that. Alright, so I put glue on the edges and the inside of this base piece. And what I suggest to do is to line up seam to seam. As best as possible. And it's not perfectly straight. The trickiest part, and sometimes I have to pull it up before I get it totally perfect, is getting everything even in here. Like I want the bottoms of the bowls to line up, if that makes sense. So that the outer edge here, see how like you kind of sink down more on this side than this side? Here, I'll show on this one where it's bigger. See how it's not even across? Like, this is way bigger than this side. Not good. So, pull it up again. And each time I do this, the glue dries, so it gets harder. So it's kind of like, I only have so many chances. And I don't know why. I usually don't have this hard of a time. Probably because I'm concentrating and talking at the same time. Still not perfect. Alright. Come on. One more time. This will be the lucky chance. What is this? The fourth time? Fourth attempt? Yep, no. And now it's just getting sticky, so it almost doesn't even want to, like, sink in there anymore. I waited too long. No! I will not give up, though. I will not give up. Yeah, see? Nope. It's still not good. Okay. Alright. Wait, I think I got it. I think I got it, guys. I think I got it. Nope, nope. Wait, I think I did. I think I just adjusted a small thing. I think this. Uh-oh. Alright, there we go. Yay! Okay. I don't know how many tries that was, but it looks good now. See how it looks? It looks even all the way across. And that's what you want. And it sits in there. Yep. Alright, so now that I have this one, the ultimate ramen bowl, I know, right? This is teeny tiny ultimate ramen bowl that still would make your ramen taste like glue in noodles. It would make the noodles taste like glue. we can put this one aside. And now for these tiny pieces, all right here. You know what? We're gonna start with the. I think the smartest part would be to start with these bolts that are all along here. This is probably honestly the trickiest part of making these is all these tiny bolts and making sure they line up. But I'm gonna show you how to do that. And once you kind of get a rhythm down, it's good. So we're gonna put these ones aside. I will need these pieces in a minute. But let's bring forward all the tiny bolts. I know I should have just grabbed them beforehand. And by the way, there are 16 bolts. So that means 16 tops to glue to these bottoms. I know, it's a lot, huh? It's a lot, it's a lot. But it can be done. I mean, it has to be. I already did 3 times, and now I'm dying it 5 more times. Alright, so I have 1 extra topper. I don't know why. I don't know if I missed something, miscounted, I don't know. Sometimes when I was cutting these, I was kind of tired at night, so... Alright. What I'm gonna do... I'm gonna take my glue... Oh my gosh, could you imagine when the grunt makes ramen? I don't know if I would trust a grunt to make ramen. I'd be kind of scared. And then I'm just putting a little bit of glue. And then a little bit of glue on the tops. I think that, like, another tricky part about this pattern is keeping track of all the pieces. So what I do is I have, like, large plastic bags that I just keep all the pieces in. And also, too, since I'm making multiple and I want to keep track of which parts go to which prop, essentially, I actually outline them in different colors. So if everything's kind of color coordinated in different pen options. So this one, obviously, that I have here is green. I have a blue one, a purple one. So that way I can, if I'm making multiple at once, I can kind of keep track of who is who. And also the marker color that I painted, like that I drew these on with, honestly, doesn't matter at all because it's just gonna be painted over anyway. So it can be done with any color. No! And then I hate when this happens. It's almost like little invisible spider webs of glue. There we go. Yeah, I'm so glad I filled up these glue bottles yesterday too. Makes it so much easier. And it's such a nice day too to be able to open up the window so that I can work. I know I'm trying to do as much foam smithing as possible before it gets warm again. Because I do all my foam smithing like pretty much outside or when I can air it out. So hopefully. I know, so interesting, right? Paint gluing together all these little knobs. All the little knobs. Yeah, I think this is like definitely the longest part because it's just like a lot of repetition, a lot of tiny work. But, you know what? It can also be kind of relaxing too. Okay, I think I'm missing... Am I missing one? I hope not. I hope I didn't miscount. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I miscounted, because I cut these out when I was like really tired. It was a late night. Alright. Now the last one, and so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so yeah, this is just an extra one. I'd rather it be an extra than a missing piece. So this one here, I'll just save it just in case if like another one I accidentally cut out 15 rather than 16. Then at least I got an extra, which has happened before in my projects. That sometimes happens. All right, so I'm gonna move these little guys aside, and I won't glue them to the bottom of this until they are kind of a little bit more dry. Yeah, you're a night owl too, Wen. Staying up late. Sometimes I just get on a like a really good groove and I just want to keep working. Alright, so now these parts here is what's going to go around the outer edge here. But before then, there's this long piece, if you notice, something a little different. This piece right here, which is going to go around the edge. So I'm going to put these aside. And you know what? I'm going to glue the edge first. You might ask, why don't you just glue those things on and, like, why are you doing it this way? Well, why I'm doing it this way is because this strip of foam here has, no seams. So this is an easy way to hide the seams rather than trying to smooth them out in such a tiny, confined area. Smooth it out with sanding and plumbing putty. Why not just do it with a strip of foam? There we go. I'm gonna put this aside. And then I'm gonna put a thin layer of glue down. This strip of foam. I'm actually kind of happy that I get to work on this project on stream because I do have I do want to kind of get them done as soon as possible. Now, I'm not waiting so much to wait till it gets tacky, because if I need to move this around, I have freedom to do so. And sometimes in cases like this, I do kind of need the freedom to slightly move it around. There we go. And then they meet. And see, look, the seams are disappeared just by a piece of 2mm EVA foam. Isaac! Hi, Isaac! How you doing? Good to see you, Isaac. Nice, you got a chili dog and fries. Sounds like a pretty good lunch. Alright, so now that we have this bottom pretty much done, I'm gonna see. Oh, no, these are still. Oh, no, actually. First, I thought they were too slippery, but not. They're good. Now I'm just like squishing them down. So remember how this jaw piece here was lifting in the corners? These things do the same thing. So I am just squishing down the corners, or in this case, the round edges, and so that they stay in place. Oh my gosh. And Isaac, what conclusion did you come to? What if Kirby absorbed all the dispatch characters? I think that would be definitely an ultimate Kirby. Alrighty, there we go. Now that all the bolts are glued down, we can get to gluing them. I've made these so many times that I don't need to write markers. I just eyeball it and I kind of know where they go. But if you yourself are making these and you want to draw like in with pencil where the little pieces go, you are more than welcome to. I did this when I made my first booms of drawing markers, because even then, like, I was learning, I was experimenting, I wasn't completely sure. So, and it's almost like they go into this zigzag shape. And if you want to be a perfectionist in measure, you totally can. But yeah, that's how to quickly mark them if you need to do that for yourself. Don't be afraid to draw on the foam. Because yet again, once it's primed and everything, it'll be painted right over. So it doesn't matter whatever your notes or marking on these things are. Yep, exactly. Exactly, Win. So I'm gonna just turn over all their the bottoms. Because each of these are now gonna get a touch of glue on them. And then I'm also gonna touch glue where I have marked it on here. Where does foam come from? It comes, I don't know. I get all my foam, I buy my foam off of Amazon. There are other, like, officially, like, foam smithing companies for cosplayers that is even higher grade foam, and they have their own glue, they have their own primers. I don't know. I kind of just do whatever I whatever I can get my hands on. I haven't tried foam from any of like those official cosplay companies or anything like that. I've heard good things though. Maybe one of these days I'll try. Yeah, it's EVA foam. Yep. And I think specifically also too, I'm using like high density EVA foam. Um, why that is because it's stiffer. There is some low density mixed in here because I was using scrap pieces for the teeny tiny pieces. That doesn't really matter because the pieces are just so small. Um, but high density tends to be a little more durable. Um, so it's like it's just stronger foam. I think it has to do with how close the air bubbles are to each other. Really? Really? I'm putting down a bolt and it just glues to my thumb. Come on. See, now that more glue's getting stuck to my fingers, it's like the sides are like, oh, let us stick to you even more. I like working with foam. I do. I find it very, very satisfying, especially when it comes to sanding it. And like here you see all these like ragged, uneven edges. And now, so much better. Like everything's like all smooth and stuff. I also like painting on foam. I like its texture. Alright, so now that I have all these pieces glued down, I'm going to put a little spot of glue of where the bolts will go. There we go. Oh, I guess I could bring it. There we go. I was a little out of frame there. Sorry, everyone. It's okay. You kind of see what I'm doing anyway. It's ever so interesting what I'm doing. And then, there we go. I'm gonna take my little bolts and glue and press down. I'm gonna move these aside. Then I have more workspace. And you know what? I don't really stress if they're completely perfect because, like, nothing's super perfect with the Jinx anyway. It does. You're right, Win. It does. It adds character. Alright. And there we go. Now all the bolts are glued down. Look at that. Alright, so now for the next pieces is these little side pieces. They almost look like little bricks. They're just gonna go right along there. So, same as we've been doing, I'm gonna line them up. I'm gonna add some glue to where they're gonna go. Alright, and then I'm gonna put this aside. And with all these little brick pieces, I'm going to add some glue. Yeah, when foam smithing, you have to be not afraid to get some glue on your fingers. That is for sure, for sure. There we go. Look at that. Yay! And as for today's goal, I would like to get done with the gluing together of this boom right here. Or at least most of it, but I think I should be able to do it within 2 hours. Takes me about an hour to cut out all these pieces, and about 2 hours to glue all together. That's kind of been my norm. Alright, so now I'm gonna do... So I'm gonna take these pieces. Not quite tacky enough. That's okay. At least I can have them in place. Glue, exactly, Win. Glue, lots of glue. When it comes to foam smithing, it's a lot of glue and it's a lot of foam dust. Hence why I wait till it gets cool enough so I can work outside. There we go. And I'm just pressing down the corners because they're kind of lifting. Because when I put these down, the glue wasn't quite tacky enough. There we go. Alright. So actually, the bottom half of this prop is completed. That's it. That's it for the bottom half. I know. Look at it. And so I want to avoid these pieces possibly sliding when it dries. So I let it dry like this. So it doesn't, like, nothing shifts, nothing moves. And try to keep it like that. Alright, so now to work on the top piece. This here is, so here's the top half. This part here is the inside right in here. Is this part here. So that's what we're gonna be, this is our base, we'll start with that. And it's just like the bottom flower pieces. Exactly the same. It's so funny, the pieces that used to make these props were actually failed pieces from Killjoy's nanoswarms. So because of Killjoy's nanoswarms, I used a lot of what I learned to make these chompers. No! Not on my thumb. Yep. It's going around. Aww. Aw, thank you, Win. Thank you for the bits. Aw. You're so sweet. I want to figure out some way of like shooting off confetti. Like, so just imagine confetti. Thank you, Win. I really appreciate you. Nah. What is that? Okay. You know what, Win? I try. I try my best with all my projects. I put my whole heart into each thing that I create. And I really try my best. All right. Nah. Well, thank you, Win. Thank you. Alrighty, so now I'm just gonna put this aside, let it get tacky, just like the other pieces. And you know what? How about I bring forward the top jaw piece. And you know what? I'm gonna draw my lines now for this. There we go. And just like the bottom jaw, right. So now we have this piece. Very important detail. Flip it over. And this piece here must go on top because it has the little eye holes. Now, a lot of people ask me, because of the way I built these, if I could make them electronic. Yes, you can definitely make them electronic. You might have to adjust a few things, but how I built them is so that they could possibly, like, all you would have to do is cut eye holes in the base layer of this top chomp piece so that you have like a clear hole where you could put a little LED light. Find some kind of clear plastic or something to put behind it to kind of diffuse that light. And then all the electronics kind of sit in the bottom of this. So I don't have any tutorials for that. Or is it written down? But if you're someone who's good with LED lights, then it shouldn't be too difficult. It should, but I did design these in mind that they could possibly be electronic. And then when you have the two halves here, normally I glue them together, but you wouldn't glue them together. You would put them together with like Velcro or something like that. So again, slightly different adjustments if you want to make them LEDs or like make them glow. But not impossible. So yeah, I did design them with that in mind, because I knew some people, and also to me, I thought about at one time making these possibly, ever so possibly glow. But I have not done that yet or put the effort into it. All right. Pretty good. Oh, there it is. My trusty X-Acto blade. I'm just gonna make a little slight cut here. There we are. And look at that. And there we are. And now you have the exact shape. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Chomp, chomp, chomp. All right. Now for this top flower piece. Hopefully I didn't wait too long. Should be okay. Nope, I don't think I waited too long, but I think if I waited any longer, it would have been too late. So, good timing on my part. Kinda. I try my best. I know, right? With the chomps, munch, munch, munch. Jinx's booms like to munch. They like to munch and chomp. Go. That did not line up perfectly. Oop. There we go. I'm gonna line it up just slightly better. Okay. There we go. I waited too long for this little piece. It's splitting. I gotta reglue it. This is also why I like foam, because you can, like, if a mistake like that happens, like right there, just easily reglue it. I don't know, I find foam has a lot of forgiveness. A lot of people, I don't know, for some reason feel like it doesn't have much forgiveness at all. Maybe yes, if you don't have a solid pattern, but if something's too small or too big, you just cut away foam, you add foam. Like if there's a detail, or like I need to bulk something up, I just glue more foam on top. Like, I don't know. I feel like it has a decent amount of forgiveness. Okay, so now that I have this, I'm gonna let it dry over here. So we can make the little top hat. Yes, these booms have little top hats. And I'll show you how to make one. So you're gonna need a ring, a lovely non-onion ring. You're gonna need this piece and a little circular piece. I'm gonna go around here. All right. Now putting that aside, and I'm gonna glue the edge, the bottom edge of this piece. And this is on 5mm EVA foam, by the way. We've been working with a lot of 2mm, but now we're working with some 5mm. There we are. I'm just gonna let that sit for a minute. And while that's sitting, I'm gonna also work on this piece here. These two pieces are this thing right here, this along here. How I get it to that shape is I add wire inside. So I need to get some wire. So while those are drying, I'm gonna go get, not disappearing, I'm just coming over here. Whoop! My jacket pocket. Magical box full of wire and wire cutters. So, I'm going to, I don't have an exact measurement for this. Some things I measure exactly, other things I do not. Just the type of person I am. So what I'm going to do is I take my wire and I line it up with my foam and I see how long does it need to be. It needs to be like that long. And then I take my cutters and I cut it off. And then there we go. And now I got wire. Oh, and then I'm going to need a little wire for this thing too. This piece here, I either use a toothpick or use wire, whatever you have on hand. I do have toothpicks, but I would have to leave and run into the kitchen to get one. Kind of don't feel like doing that. So I'm just going to cut one right here. There we go. Alright. And that is it. Thank you. Trusty wire and wire cutters. I know, right? I disappeared for a second. Oh well. So I'm gonna just put this aside here. Put these aside. And now I bet this is tacky enough. So this is gonna be the bottom piece of my top hat. And I'm gonna take the glue edge and gently press in and glue. There we go. And then press. And then you can see I have like a little flappy door right there. I'm going to take my glue and put a little glue there to close up that flappy door. And there we go. And how's this one doing? Oh, that one's looking pretty good. Oh. Cool. Now, this is the top part of our little top hat. So I'm gonna glue the edge. And then I'm going to also glue the edge down here. Alright, and then I'm going to put these two aside to kind of wait to get tacky a little bit. And you know what? Let's bring forward this piece here. Let's do these. This piece is this piece right here. Here you can see better contrast right there. That's what we're making. So I say the best way to do this is lay them out like butterfly wings. So that way you know which side to glue. Because they're supposed to be symmetrical to each other. Whoa. Alright. And then I'm going to take my teeny bit of wire. Or again, you could use a toothpick. Just whatever you have on hand. And I'm going to put it right there in the center. And take my piece. Alright, and so this should be good enough now. Alrighty, there we go. And now I have this little top hat. I don't know, it looks like a little top hat. I don't know, it probably has more of an official name of what it is, but a little topper. So let's go back to this part here. And I gotta straighten out this wire as much as possible. I mean, of course, it's okay if it's not perfect, but enough where you don't want any metal poking out. And sometimes I lay it out, test it, see if it's good. Bend it a little bit more here. There we go. Yeah, see, that's pretty straight. And then there we are. Whoop. That's not supposed to happen. Some of these are the rolls of foam were at the end, so it was very curly. So the smaller pieces still want to take on that like curly form. To weigh this one down, I'm actually just going to put the wire in it right there. Kind of weigh it down a bit. And I gotta move it aside. Wait for those to get tacky. Whoa! Okay, that sucked. As I try to get as little glue on my fingers as possible. And these tiny pieces, they don't really like that to happen. Okay. So, it's actually already pretty tacky. Yeah, alright. You know what? That's okay. I'll leave it like that, and these edges will come up until it's more tacky. So I'm gonna let it squish down. While we're letting that dry more, I have this piece, which I have not forgotten about, I swear. This and this. Oh, where's my key ring? I need a key ring. I knew I was forgetting something. Key ring. Those will be set aside for later. And now, so this piece here is going to wrap around like this. What did you realize when? What did you realize? I hope I didn't forget something on the screen. You're right, I could make the little bots from repo. You are right. I don't know, I might just have to do that now, Win. To imagine little desk toy repo bots. Yeah, yeah. That might be fun, Win. I might have to think of making that a project one day. Maybe, we'll see. In my endless projects. Alright, so then, and, so I'm placing this kind of in the middle, and I'm leaving this lip here because this lip will connect into the, bottom piece. It'll kind of lock in. It'll give a place for there to be glue or Velcro, whichever you choose to do. And it didn't quite overlap like I wanted to or connect. So I have to slightly stretch it a little bit. I think the trickiest part about this is making sure it's not crooked. There we go. And then just all around the center. And now, it's these parts. And these parts will outline the edge here and outline the edge here. Go. I'm gonna put these aside. Uh-oh, I just noticed something. This piece came undone. So with tiny pieces like this, I want to make sure that they line up correctly, because if the glue sets and dries, it will tear the foam, and then I have to make a whole new piece, which I kind of don't really want to do. There we go. Alright, instead I'm going to set this in a safe place. What was I doing? I was laying down glue. I was painting on glue. Yep, and just adding glue all the way around. There we go, and then I'll set that aside. And then I'm going to add glue to this long piece. So I'm gonna put this aside over here, because I'm worried my sleeve is going to catch it. Alright, and then right here. Last few pieces, guys. Last few pieces. Alright, so I'm going to put that aside as well. So I got this one, and I got this one. Waiting to get a little tacky. Let's go back to this piece here. And see, now I can easily pinch it closed without a problem. Like I was having a problem before. Yeah, Win, you should definitely you should make something with foam. Absolutely. You have that whole big roll. Build something with it. If you don't know what to make, there's lots of patterns and tutorials online that you can easily make stuff. Alright, so now I take my strip that was sitting off to the side, and then this one I have a feeling is going to just get caught up, so let's move it. And as you can see, in this piece sometimes gets a little too long depending on how it's stretched on here. So this little tab will have to be cut off. Thankfully I have my trusty scissors right next to me. And cut it right off the edge. And glue it there in place. And then same for the other one. Oh. And there we go. Now I do need a little glue of there. Well, what's so nice is that right now it's nice outside, so all you really need is a table space. And if you have a table space, then you can work outside. And I would say at least some cardboard. Some scrap cardboard. I have this cardboard here I've had for years. Clearly you can see all the history of the different projects that I've worked on. But as long as you have like a surface to work on that you truly don't care if it gets glue or paint on it, I would say create one of those. And yeah, bring it outside. There we go. All right. So now for not these two pieces, but these pieces here, those are the little like speaker and little recording thing that goes here. I guess it's better here. The little speaker and the recording thing. that's going to go inside the mouth of the chomper. And you kind of want it in the center. So the joints of the jaw kind of go like here and here. So it looks like the center. Where's the center? Here and here. So actually the center is right there. So the speaker will go there. And then the little recording dial will go right there. So yeah. Oh, Blood, you have snow outside? Okay, I'm a little jealous. Yeah, I think bump smithing outside for you. Probably not. If there's snow right now. For us, well, today we have clouds. Actually, for you, Blood, where you live, it's probably, like, nice, like, it never gets too hot. So probably in your spring and summertime, you could work outside just fine and be all good. Yeah, but win. Take advantage. Take advantage of it being nice outside right now. And go work outside. Oh, really? Well, you know what? Ask your dad if you can work outside with him. You're like, hey, Dad, I want to work on foam smithing. What's nice, though, too, I will say about the foam itself, is when you're cutting, you can cut inside, and it's not messy at all. So you can, like, cut in your room or on the kitchen counter, and cleanup is, like, no big deal whatsoever. The messy part is the glue and the sanding. But yeah, look. See, got a little speaker and recorder. And then, eventually, when I get these mouths bolted together, it'll look like that. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Yep. Alright, so now for the top hat that goes as so. Alright, so doing this. Oh my gosh. Yep. So I'm, oh my gosh, Blood. It gets warm. Yep, that's why I'm like, I'm trying to work as fast as possible on all the foam smithing before it gets warm again. I have big goals too. Big goals. I have all these booms I want to make. I want to make more horns. I have Jinx's Pow Pow that I want to complete. I also have another cosplay that's going to be mainly foam that I want to work on as well that I haven't announced yet. And why I haven't announced it is because I kind of don't want to jinx it. I don't want, like so many of my other cosplays I announce, people get excited, I start, then I don't finish, and then people are like, what the hell happened? So I kind of don't want this to happen with this character. I don't want that same thing to happen. Alright, so this piece. What is this? This part is this part here that kind of like wraps around, goes around, and what this key ring sits in. Yep, blood, exactly. I am. I'm a small girl with big goals. Very big, ambitious goals. But, you know what? I hope I can do it. Yep, I am. I'm a small fairy. Alright. And for this one, I don't want it to get tacky quite yet because I have to put the key ring in, but these have to be assembled before I do so. So, and this is why I still want it to be kind of wet, because I open up this flappy, and I take my key ring, and I slide it in there. And you may ask, is this really strong enough to hold up the boom? Actually, yes. My booms, I've worn them so many times around my belt, and they actually stay in place. This, amazingly enough, works. And I also have more foam that goes on top that I'll show you in a minute of how that comes together. But yeah, no. And actually, amazingly enough, it stays. The only time this ring got damaged on one of my booms, it's a little more fragile, is because a kid at one of my shows, I had it on the counter, and she tried to pull this out. I think she thought it could come out, and she like was jerking it, like she was pulling really rough, and I didn't see it at first to stop it because I was kind of talking to her dad, and then all of a sudden I hear this like donk donk donk, like I'm like, what is that noise? And I look down, and here she is like trying to yank it, and I'm like, oh my god, child. And her dad was like, I'm so sorry, and I'm like, it's okay. And it kind of tore the foam. I'm like, no, don't do that. So I have to, every once in a while, I have to go back in with some contact cement and like touch it up. And I have to redo that. I should probably go do that while I have the contact cement out. But that's it. Alright, so now that this is tacky, I'm going to put this little top hat on. Like so. And I also designed these booms to be very durable. When I first designed them, I had the idea in my head that it'd be kind of funny to toss them at friends. You know, like just like Jinx is here, like toss, you know, and they've like bounced off counters and rolled on floors and haven't broken at all. Like they're really durable. And I built them with the intention of being durable. There we go. Little top hat. Top of the boom. Alright. And now. What do I do next? Oh, sorry. I was blanking. So, this part is gonna go on top of this here. In this ring, so kind of as your guideline, the ring is directly in line with the speaker. So that this goes on either sides, kind of like so. And then you'll have the top parts of the chomper like this. So everything will be in line. So that's what I use. Keyring in the center. And then doing underneath here. And just gonna place right on top. Gonna kind of make sure everything's aligned. Yep, and then I'll fold these down when it gets more tacky. There we go. There we are. I know it looks funny. It looks like he has like wings on his hat or something. And then, you know, alright, and then for this little part here, this is gonna go right there. And then this also is as a guideline of where it goes. It's in perfect line with this ring part. There we go. Actually, I need to whoop, shift it over just a tad. There we go. There we go. Making sure everything's lined up properly. Alright, Alright, no touchy. No touchy, no touchy. And that's not tacky enough. That'll just, like, spring all the way back up. I guess what I can do is bend this part now. And, oh my gosh. I just looked at the time and I'm like, time goes by so fast. I'm almost done with this. I'm going to finish the top part and then I'll call the stream there. So it'll go over a teeny bit, but I think it'd be unfair to, like, leave it like this where it's so close to being done. So this part kind of goes inside, and I eyeballed all of this part. So this part I completely eyeball. So this, yeah, goes like that. And then that part goes almost like right here. Like that. And then that goes down. And it's like, the clip is not like that. It's like this. There we go. So there we go. And then that's how it's perfectly bent. And it'll sit in like this, actually. Boop, boop, boop. Actually, I'm gonna bend in this part more. More like that. There we go. Have it more snug and warm fitting in there. Yeah, that'll be better. Sweet. So this should be tacky enough now to put down these little dog ears. Push them down. Just like that. And these little pieces, like little screw tops. Aw, thank you, Evil Leia. Thank you. I'm glad that you enjoy watching whatever creation is being streamed. That makes me really happy. I'm glad that you enjoy watching the process, Evil Leia. That actually means a lot. Yeah, and I like hanging out with everyone too, whether you're chatty or if you're just quietly lurking. Everyone's always welcome. I know, but the time does fly by. Alright. Last and final piece. The clip. Thank you, Win. Thank you. Hey, you know what? I try my best. I do. It does. It makes me really happy that everyone here enjoys watching the process because, you know, a lot of work goes into these, and so often, and this is for pretty much any, like, cosplay, like, creation, whether it's, like, part of the outfit or the prop. I feel like so often on social media we see it all done in 15 seconds, and in reality, like here, it took me 2 hours, exactly 2 hours, to build this little boom, but yet on social media, normally you'll see it done within 15 seconds. And even though, yes, it's cool to see the whole process done so fast, it's like there's almost this illusion that goes along with it that it doesn't take, and now I can show why does it take so long? What is the process? I think when you realize the amount of time handmade things take, there's a greater level of appreciation for it. And I like to show that off. And I'm glad that everyone here enjoys watching it. Exactly, when slow and steady wins the race. Alrighty, there we go. There's the last piece. You know what? I'm super happy with the progress today. I did exactly what I wanted to. I got exactly how much I wanted done. That's kind of lifting. It might take a while. I might have to wait until it gets like slightly more tacky. Actually, I think I might have to. Uh-oh. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Alrighty. I'll take my mask off for the last little bit here. Well, thank you everyone for joining today's stream. It was a lot of fun and we made really good progress. I got exactly what I wanted done. Yeah, aw, you guys are awesome. You really are. And as for the next stream, I'll be seeing we'll see. We'll see what I have entailed, if it'll probably maybe more foam smithing. Or I might bring a painting out. It'll probably depend on where I am with these the process of these Jinx props. If I bring them back onto stream to maybe make another one, if you're interested in, maybe do some painting. We'll see. Aw, thank you, Evo Leia. Thank you. Thank you for always being here. Aw, thank you, Win. Thank you. And thank you for being here. Alrighty, I will see you all next time. Bye!